Hello Rocket League fans, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to a recap and a breakdown, of course, of RLCS Season 6 championships this past weekend. I quickly want to say yes, I was wrong. For those of you guys who actually watched predictions video, I could not have done worse, but you cannot blame me because this was possibly the best championship series we have ever seen ever since, probably maybe Season 1. On top of that, though, we saw so many Game 5s. If you guys did have the chance to watch, there were minor production issues during a Dignitas game, a Cloud9 game. There were a couple times where the stream did shut down, the audio did shut off as well, but besides that, it's a not so typical esport where these 5-minute games, if you ever shut down for a minute or two, you miss a large portion of the game. So they really can't afford those, and again, luckily enough, the grand final was avoiding all those problems. But again, overall, guys, I think viewership-wise and production-wise, it was a pretty solid performance. I know there's been complaints out there about the interviewers, and of course, some of the interviewees, the players out there, are a bit timid on stage. But nonetheless, I think one of the better Rocket League events of all time, and definitely as the most expensive prize pool of all time, they did an overall great job. And again, I almost want to say sorry, but at the same time, there were so many best of 5s, of course, going to map 5. It is pretty hard to keep track of all those games out there. I do want to say for my predictions, though, obviously not starting out too strong, but a lot of those teams I did predict blew their leads, like Tainted Minds, guys. First of all, I want to say Shady's defense throughout their first two and their only 2 games, I think, was underrated. Alongside that, CJ, I think one of the most, I would say, comprehensible guys on camera. One of the best guys to listen to. Absolutely love that team, especially after their first entrance. If you guys do remember their entrance, it was quite funny as well. They blew a 2-1 lead against EG. I thought if any Oceania team was going to go far, it would be them. They did look strong at the start, but again, blew that 2-1 series lead against EG, unfortunately enough, and then fell out in the losers bracket there shortly after. Alongside that, though, Chiefs, who would have guessed a miraculous top 4 finish? I know one of our commenters said they wanted Chiefs to win it all, and then I said there was it'd be a miracle, and just them making top 4 in itself was amazing to see. I also, of course, predicted PSG over them. PSG blew a 2-0 series lead against them, and again, there were so many surprises. Even alongside that, guys, Cloud9 on their day 1 entrance against WDG went to map 5 overtime. They fell short in that series. We also had NRG. They were probably a big surprise, losing to one of the early teams to lose to Chiefs as well. They go to losers bracket. Alongside that, I would say the biggest surprise, in my own opinion, besides the grand final we'll get to eventually, would be G2. That first loss to Flipside and then eliminated by PSG. That was, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest upsets so far coming out of North America. Not making North America look great throughout the start of actually day 1. It was all 4 North American teams in the losers bracket, which is never a good thing to see, but they made their climb back. And of course, that being with a lot of miracles in play. And again, this made me probably one of the biggest Rocket League fans out there, if not a larger Rocket League fan. If you guys for some reason watching this video and actually did not watch the grand finals, you need to go back and watch it. It was so unsuspected. And on top of that, just a little bit of a, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler here. It was actually Cloud9 taking your RLCS Season 6 title and doing so in immaculate fashion. Although you call it the reverse sweep through the lower bracket, their win through the lower bracket, guys, and of course beating Dignitas in 2 best of 7s, it was absolutely unbelievable. Although, yes, predictions out there, a lot of you Cloud9 fans maybe saw this coming. Statistically speaking, this was literally near impossible, and it was probably the best finish we could have ever hoped for. I think, in my own opinion, guys, the biggest comeback in Rocket League history through the lower bracket. It's tied for the actual longest run through the lower bracket to actually win the grand finals, and alongside that, it's actually surprisingly not that uncommon. Of course, you go to Dignitas last year, they had their one round shorter run as well through the lower bracket to win as well. Against NRG, they won those 2 best of 7s. You go back to Season 3, guys, Remco, Devo, Turbo, they were on that team Northern Gaming. They had a very similar run themselves. And then go back to Season 1, it was Flipside Tactics who almost completed the longest run themselves. So again, although very, of course, very unsuspected, this actually has happened many times in Rocket League history, or at least has almost happened. Of the 6 seasons so far, we have at least 3 seasons where it's happened, almost 4 where it has almost happened. So again, though, when you bring it to this, though, Season 6, could you have asked for a better finish? I think not. And again, when you go to the prediction panel, myself included, there was no statistical way for these guys to beat Dignitas. Dignitas currently throughout the, of course, main stage season, as well as, of course, through the actual league play as well, 17 matches, 17 series wins in a row, and Cloud9 would somehow have to actually beat them twice in a best of 7, which they have never beat them before, and Dignitas had never lost in a best of 7 before, at least this season. 17 series in a row. Statistically speaking, especially when you think about Cloud9's run, right? They had to beat Chiefs, Chiefs. They had to beat WDG. That's 2 series down, and then 2 longer series after that. And I do want to say, on top of that, even more miraculously, they did so in dominant fashion. I don't think this series could have gone, or either series could have gone either way, and the hype was truly real, and I think you definitely take the home crowd into effect, but it was, I'm still shocked by the results, truly am. So now we have Squishy entering his 3rd season, guys, of this 3rd season in the finals. Alongside that, though, his 3rd time in the top 4, taking the title as well. I'm still, I don't even know what to say about it. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought. There could not have been, in my eyes, a better finish to RLCS Season 6, and again, I cannot wait as well. This upcoming weekend, guys, we have RLRS promotional playoffs, which I think is going to be a bit crazy. Again, we've talked about this in the past. Does league play need more teams? Does it need more weeks? I am definitely a fan of more weeks because it's really hard to determine which teams are better than other teams out there. You have teams like Mouse Sports throughout league play. They won 2 games in week 1, and they somehow made regional championships, had a chance to actually make the grand finals, or of course the final stage, which is, in my opinion, is absolutely insane. Maybe increases to 10 weeks, maybe increase the number of teams, so of course you have more matches in it. But on top of that, though, my boy Bluey is also facing off. Of course, North America as well as EU have promotional playoffs. They face off against the 2 bottom league teams, and it's going to be the 2 top RLRS teams going on over there. So I do think, though, for North America, it's actually Team Bread and Splice have I really honestly think against Rogue and Allegiance, a very good chance for both those teams to actually qualify for an NA league play. But when it comes to our boys in EU, they have a very, very tough road ahead of them. Of course, Bluey, formerly of PSG, he left that squad for his new team known as Savage. They are yet unsigned, but alongside them, though, Red Reserve, the newer signed team earlier this season, they both performed, I mean, unbelievably well, and I cannot wait for them to actually compete. And of course, in promotional playoffs, they, though, have a very tough path. Complexity, and more important, guys, I think Fnatic is going to present a big problem for these guys. I would hope that one of these teams does go through, either Savage or Red Reserve. I think for the North American side, those teams still have very good shot. At least one of those teams will go through. As you guys know, there are only 2 spots available, and all 4 of those teams compete for those 2 spots. But as always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoyed Rocket League news. There's not going to be too much after RLS week and promotional playoffs, but besides that, I am so hyped for the potential roster changes out there. Leave a comment down below if you guys think any teams out there of significance are going to make some big changes. But as always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I'll see you all back here in a couple days as we break down promotional playoffs and we cheer for some new teams in league play. I'll see you then.